Welcome to the Hour Show on ADTV, formerly known as ADTV. It's been a very long time, and I've also missed you all. I thank you for the support you've given me over the years and our dedicated team. You've been amazing, and we are back for good this time. All right, remember, this is the only show hidden truths are revealed, hard topics are discussed, constructive criticisms are observed. Remember to subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. The Hour Show is back on Andy TV. But today, I have in the studio a wonderful guest, a personality you will love to hear. He is Mansa Musa, a renowned radio broadcaster here in the United Kingdom and a political commentator. Welcome to the Hour Show.
Thank you. And others add that I'm a prolific writer as well. I have not said that.
I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. I miss you. It's a long
time, hasn't it?
Yeah, since we left. I mean, the other time I've been involved in radio presenting, sometimes television here and there.
Right.
And a bit of writing, so I've kept myself busy.
Right.
Other than that, everything is nice and good.
Good. Mansa Musa, we have, I know, and I often hear people talk about your programs, and I think most people believe that you are a champion voice for the NDC. Is that the case?
Put it this way, for the first start, I don't have a party card, or I don't own a membership card or allegiance or anything. My political leaning, what we call it, allegiance is with the Osagifo.
Okay.
I love Osagifo, so I'm in Nkrumah East.
Okay.
Not exactly or necessarily CPP,
okay,
but in Nkrumah East. Now, when it comes to the contemporary, the current arrangement, the current politics in Ghana.
Okay.
You see, in 2016 and before,
all right,
the NDC was in power.
Right.
And Mansa Musa criticized it big time. I mean, those days I wasn't very active on WhatsApp and the rest. I did write quite a few articles, posted them on Ghana Web, I did speak seriously, criticize, the Suba, the Sada, the Jew, all those, sort of things occurring,
right,
the unpleasant things that were happening and the corruption. We spoke a lot.
Okay.
My policy is that it is the government of the day, the current administration that I tackle, and I tackle very hard. So unfortunately for me, those who have just come to realize or come to know my program, they will sit and say, oh, why is this man always criticizing Akufo-Addo's government? Yes, because Akufo-Addo ran the show now. It's not Mahama.
Okay.
Believe me, if Mahama should come and this happen, maybe I will be shouting. But it's not necessarily to speak for NDC.
Okay.
Maybe now it's we speak for a good change, put it that way.
But what is actually happening? What do you think is actually happening?
In what respect? You mean what?
In terms of your criticisms, so as the current administration, I understand maybe your strict policies and rules, or however you will call it, might stem from your early beginnings with the late former President Rawlings, because you served under.
Yes.
Do you think? I mean, I think Nana-Addo and Rawlings were quite good friends.
Yeah, in the end,
he never raised any or never criticized Nana-Addo for mismanagement of the country. Why do you think Nana-Addo is
Thanks a million for this. You see this question. The thing is, like you said, I'm from that background, started training militarily from the very early 80s, 82, I think, 82 October.
Okay.
did my training at Fienya, special training,
Okay.
Fienya, Astuchari.
Okay.
Some of us were sent to Cuba, others, did parachute in Algeria.
Okay.
And we served, and, we made sure we protected the then regime or government. We stabilized, at least in terms of security. We made sure it stayed.
Okay.
There were several attempts, not everything that is known to the public, but you see, where that background, coming from that background, maybe I expect too much.
Okay.
Maybe we of that background, we expect government or governance to be in a certain way, or to the image of the government should show some sort of probity, accountability. You see, we don't live in a utopian sort of system to think that everything should be very straightforward, clean, straight, and white. And no, we know there will be mistakes, there will be mischief, and all that. But what is prevailing or pertaining now, what is happening now? It's not only in Ghana, all over most of Black Africa.
Right.
We'll come there, but you see, we can't put our heads in the sand to say, but they are doing okay, or no. For what we have realized about governance, our people, and I don't mean it only in Ghana, but West Coast Africa, our leadership has fallen short. Let me finish with the Rawlings side. I can tell you that people who are in the know, people who knew him before he passed, he became, how do I say, disillusioned. I mean, when he realized that, no, maybe he has backed the wrong horse, so to speak.
Do you think so?
Yes, he knew, he realized that, there was too much corruption coming in.
But he's not spoken president.
You see, let me tell you something. No, it was when he died, he died at, let's say, an opportune time for Akufo-Addo and his people. Unfortunately for Ghanaians, because he would have criticized. The point is, look, Akufo-Addo spoke. He did a good talk before he became president. And many people, not only Rawlings, many people, even within his own circles, they trusted and believed him. Look, how many people have come out to say, this is not the Akufo-Addo I knew.
So what do you think what has gone wrong? What do you think?
Well, people's expectations have not been met, and they are not alone. He spoke a lot of, how do I say it, finesse, rapport, or let's say narrative. He sold himself to be the one to guide the country in a certain direction. And to so many people, I'm not going to sit here to say that, of so many programs.
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't like that education should start from the creche or the day nursery to university free, especially for third world country? That's what we have to do for the next 10, 15, 20 years, to build the capacity, the mental capacity of this. See, as Osagefo started.
Okay.
You see, who wouldn't accept that? But when it is politicized and is done in such a way that it rather produces, inferior quality, and it is fact, then you would say, look, why are we doing this? Why do you rush? Why do you force it when you cannot? Surely, and it is clear that lots of monies have been spent unnecessarily. Even though lots of money have been spent, the outcome is rather minimum. It's a fact.
Do you think so?
Well, we are yet to be proven that the outcome is very satisfactory.
Right, but you are now more pro Mahama. I'm very sure.
Let's put it this way.
Right.
I want a positive change.
But why Mahama?
Yes, he is the only. You mean why Mahama leading NDC?
No. Why do you think he can give you that positive change?
Because look, let me put it this way.
You tell me.
Akufo-Addo, president, he has taught everyone.
Okay.
How not to govern a country.
How not to govern?
Yes.
Are you serious? Are you very, very serious about that?
You can say I'm lying.
I mean, but you forgot Dumso all of a sudden.
I don't want to trivialize this conversation.
Okay.
Dumso, Sada, and yesterday I was on the radio and someone even brought Tracy Buachi, and I saw all these things. Someone will call in and say, "What about this? What Bruni?" I don't want this trivialization of it. But the thing is,
it's not trivial.
No,
it's very important.
Well, you see, I don't want to look as if I'm a spokesperson for NDC. Obviously, there are proper NDC people who have the card. They have it. I have facts and everything, but I don't want to, I mean, I'm not showing up as a spokesperson. But you ask the question, why Mahama? Obviously, look, I've told you, and I won't hide from it. Akufo-Addo has told everyone how not to talk plenty and do little. Look, Mahama, now people are saying quietly and in public that he looks like a saint. If Kennedy Agyapong can now say, "Oh, I lied about Tracy Buachi," the other time he was actually saying he was surprised, upon all the insult and attack leveled at Mahama has not responded and everything. The guy is genuinely gentle, and most importantly, the NDC, comparatively, have the quality people. I don't want to say quality men, because there are women as well. Look,
do you think MPP doesn't have?
For what has been exhibited, for what we've seen, what has transpired, goodness me, nearly 8 years of this administration, when the Agric minister and the former trade minister, Alan Chamantin, they say they don't have message. What message are we going to deliver to the people for this campaign? Recently, Akoto says it. Yeah, he said he's doubtful how people live, under nearly 40% inflation, figures. And he's worried. So if those people within the government, they are in the cabinet, they are now sounding the alarm chorus, the alarm bells, and they are doubtful of their own performances. How can I sit here and say, Akufo-Addo and people have done well, if they themselves are doubtful? Look, have you heard what Kennedy Agyapong has been saying with the attacks on Bawumia, the vice president, that he said this and he said that, and seriously speaking, if this is our quality as a whole, as Ghanaians, if NDC have the same as this, then we are really seriously doomed. If we can't believe that others can do better, other personalities in collective manner.
Right.
Do better.
But you've seen Mahama. He's been an assemblyman. He's been an MP. I believe he's been vice president now.
Yes.
And also a president.
That even makes him more qualified now.
Well, you saw
much more solid, I think.
Vice president.
Yes.
When Mr. Mills was barely probably active.
Yes.
He did nothing.
Yeah, he did not, because officially, formally, legally, constitutionally, he couldn't do much.
But
he was just assistant.
Yeah, but he became president.
Yes. Now, the practical exhibits have shown. Look at the number of concrete in forests wasting away. A lot of concrete has been poured. Hospitals, schools, a lot of them.
But don't you think?
And they are in forests, and you and I, we are not talking about how to correct those mistakes. And so seeing that as rather a fault for someone to maybe borrow hugely to build so many things.
In the strong communications team to probably voice out some of the things, their own. But I'm sure 8 years of governance would bring forth something. Maybe it's not to everybody's expectation. But when you talk about global crisis in terms of finance, even the UK is struggling. Don't you think so?
I have a friend from Uganda. When you are talking, he looks at you like this. Yo. That's what he says. Yo. That the MPP don't have good communication network communicators.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Look.
I'm very sure.
These are the people. Look, the other time I played a clip.
Right.
The number of personalities
tell me
in the seat. Hang on a second.
Right.
The seat of governance.
Right.
the number of people they're serving as communication this, communication that, communication assistant, director of communication, and everywhere. A government official, what have you done? And he starts to talk plenty. It means they haven't done nothing.
Right.
Look, if they've done things, they wouldn't need communicators to broadcast to Ghanaians. Ghanaians will say, we have this, we have this, we have that. We have that. The difference is there for you to see. They will say it. It is not about communicators communicating. Because as for the deceit in communication, we all know you big yourself up. You can sell yourself nicely. Look, I can say this studio is really, really, really beautiful. It's not average, but achievement is there. If the outcome of over nearly 600 billion cities. We are looking at roughly a size of Ghana, the size of Ghana, a country the size of ours, over nearly 120 to 130 billion dollars for 8 years. That money should be good enough. People are really, really being punished for problem that it wasn't their cause. And now you are talking about UK and others and listen. Before I came here, my cousin, she's older than me, and I check do his, I run his finances and her finances and everything, and they have, what we call winter allowance and cost of living allowances will be paid very soon. All in all, she'll get about £600 in her account for cost of living allowances. Look. The last thing I want anyone, we Ghanaians, to do is to compare, always refer to, but it is bad in Europe, it is bad in America, it is bad. It's true. When you live here and you are paying for gas, electricity, and all those things, yes, it is true. The money, the outgoing is becoming harder. But equally, when you have reached my age, now I've started knowing what it is, and you'll be called by big hospital. I mean, one of the, Bath, St. Bartholomew's Hospital. He's one of the best you can say in the world, because if he's the best in UK, they call me and they will be talking nicely like, if you don't want to, you don't have, you cannot come, we can reschedule. A lot of things that we take for granted. Just because 20, 25 years I've done all the shift and I've paid my dues, now I reach a time they have to look after me. You see, so even though life or the expenses are getting higher, don't let us compare. Back at home, it's really a struggle. When you see a gentleman, a young fella, actually exposing himself, begging that he hasn't got dialysis money, and lo and behold, he dies after a week or so. Jesus Christ, don't let us compare. Now you're making me very emotional, because for what we did in the 80s, even though we didn't get everything right, we expected that things should change for a little better for the Ghanaian. Maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, but it was to change
the mindset.
Thank you. It was to change our attitude, to work for each other, to work for ourselves, but not to grab.
But don't you agree that most people, or the youth right now, all right, which is probably the majority, in Ghana right now, they don't witness that, and probably they don't even understand what has happened before. Do you think we should have a system of governance like a champions?
You see, the question, the answer can be yes or no, but I won't answer it like that. It will be too simple to say yes or no, we should have, or yes. No, let me tell you something. The great man Osajifo, as we say in Ashanti, the great man Osajifo, me Mansa Musa, if they remove that white boy with blonde or brown hair, blue eye image of Christ, if they remove that, they put Osajifo's image, I'll worship that cross, honestly. Look, the guy knew that when Ghana got the independence, the people, his generation, he knew that they are the people who have gone through after slavery, after, colonization, they have been molded to think that the white man is superior and that sort of thing. Bronina Candy, that sort of thing. So Osajifo, in his big brain, with all his lieutenants, said, look, let's mold the next generation. Let's prepare the next generation. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
So what did he do? We brought something called Young Pioneer. In fact, after the overthrow of Nkrumah, when they hear even from your mouth, Young Pioneer, I think you go to prison.
Okay.
It was to mold, to educate, to bring out a new generation which will believe in itself, in Africa's self, that, you study the sciences, the mathematics, algebra, the what we call it, the chemistry and the rest. More of that and less of the Bible. Like the Eastern countries, especially Eastern Europe, East Asia and those things, it's all about book knowledge, about thinking about your country. So Nkrumah brought about this Young Pioneer to train the next generation so that they will govern for themselves, will govern, to trust and believe. Unlike now, the generation we have, all of Africa, unfortunately, all of Africa, that mentality that our salvation doesn't lie in our own countries, our salvation is in Europe. No wonder everyone is running from the south to the north.
We saw the like of the late president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe.
Yeah.
He did similar action. He took similar steps. Mandela was the only one who didn't go down the same route.
Like what? Mandela didn't do what?
He didn't drive the White House. He didn't say the black.
That, you see, that policy is different.
Yeah, look. Nkrumah said that Africans, we are able to, handle our own affairs. No, we're able to handle our own affairs.
Listen, the point is,
right,
we don't have to speak as though, even if it was a mistake for him to think like that, that, we hold it against him.
Well, no, it's not a mistake. We're ready. We're ready. Don't you think?
That's what I'm saying. He didn't just say that in a vacuum.
Right.
He was actually preparing. Look, anybody who tells you, we keep talking about Gogisberg economy,
Yeah.
Gogisberg economy.
Yeah.
Osagyefo wanted to change Gogisberg economy because that Gogisberg economy, the economy we knew when Nkrumah took over, was buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell.
Right.
And we're buying from who? From Europe.
Of course.
Yes, they ship everything, we buy and sell. Nkrumah brought the idea, instead of just buy and sell, now he said, produce.
Yes.
Produce, buy and sell.
Okay.
So 3, instead of just buy and sell, produce. That's why he built so many industries.
Okay.
The guy was building a nation.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
So the inspiration that he wanted to give to people that we are capable, he wanted Ghanaians to believe. In fact, if you watch those old black and white films and you see how the enthusiasm with which people greeted it, you understand? So it's not as though it's a fault for him to say that.
I do understand that, but we have Nana Akufo-Addo to be blamed for almost everything from the past. I mean, you had your mentor.
Blame for what?
For everything. I mean, almost everything, like you said earlier. Everything.
Yes, because he's running the country now.
He's running the country now. Yes. But don't you think it stems from the very beginning? From the very beginning, when we overthrew Osagyefo Nkrumah with the vision.
Now you are talking. Thank you.
Now,
you said when you said overthrow Nkrumah.
Exactly. Right.
Finish your question.
So now, your mentor, former President Rawlings, the late former President, he was the longest serving person after, since, those school period. He never, would you criticize his governance? Don't you think he had the right to, he did a cleanup exercise, like you said, the Buka. I mean, what do you think he did wrong? Because I'm sure the generation from Rawlings is what we are seeing, the fruits he bore.
You see something, look, it's all in the mind.
Okay.
It's all, I'm just using this phrase, it's all in the mind.
So how do we change?
How do we change? When people don't want to be trained, educated, to be selfless, to be straightforward, to have that, sense of to serve your society, to serve your local, the sense of community. If people are refusing, and always accepting that they must, win something or gain something from the state. That's what we are having now. Look, Rawlings, for all his faults, the guy genuinely wanted people to do the right thing.
Right.
That is why, let me tell you something. A president who had, run a country, governed for almost 19 years?
Yes.
He didn't have about 5 million to take himself to America. Not even to South Africa to go and cure himself. No, it's a fact.
Are you sure?
People who knew maybe if his government, his party was in power, they would have sent him outside. But not Kolebu. Are you not surprised that as a soldier?
Right.
Jesus Christ, he wasn't even taken to 37 military hospital where most of the officers would have been rushing, falling over each other to help him out. He was sent to Kolebu. The guy, after so many years, an African leader, and for that matter, think of it properly, for African leaders who have run the country for a long time, in many countries, those people don't die in their country. They die in France, they die in Germany, they die. You understand?
Tamils died in this country too, didn't he?
What?
I mean,
what I'm trying to say is that those people are selfless people. They didn't have the edge to acquire wealth. It's a fact. Rawlings lived at rich. That is a government bungalow built in the colonial days, and he was happy to live there. People had their mansions. He wasn't Nenimbre, like we say in Akan. He was happy, content to live there.
We will take a short break after the content aspect of former President Rawlings. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Maintaining the present at the forefront of a global issue with the desire to help others come to a resolve in personal and business affairs is why Andy D Legal and Immigration Associate was established.
We specialize in overseas British passport applications, bails and temporary admission, deportation and detention cases.
The profound pattern in achieving positive results with fragile cases in immigration, nationality, European Union and human rights law, adoption, marriage, divorce, litigation, and so on, up to date, has been broken, and that is why our client base continues to expand.
We also do representations at the UK border agencies and overseas consulate, human rights law, and settlement and leave to remain applications.
We have the right keys to unlock any case across the spectrum of law, locally in London and across the borders in Ghana, where our other branches are established.
We are located at 44 Broadway, Stratford, E15 1XH. Our telephone number is 0203 1300 751.
Do you want to step out proud and confident? Embraced in jewelry no attention can resist? Ahima Jewelry has fine pieces of rings, pendants, chains, and bracelets inspired by 9 different uplifting Idinkra symbols imbued with culture, love, and positivity. Ahima Jewelry is handmade with the highest quality materials, individually finished and infused with a sense of love and tradition. They are unique and stylish, made in sterling silver and 18 CT plated yellow and rose gold. Ahima Jewelry is your first-stop jewelry shop with worldwide delivery and extra attention on complimentary gift packaging. At Ahima, your jewelry are handmade with love.
Nana, nsu a amansan nyinaa ni di akyi. Wow. Nsu na mu oda aboadwo wo mu sei. Memanfo, nsu eye nkwa. Na sa wopese wonya nkwa tenten a apomuden ewo mu a, enum nsu bi akeke. Nom Andy's natural mineral water. Andy's natural mineral water. Nomunsu papa.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. Mansa Musa.
Yes, sir.
What do you think we can do as a country, as a nation, to correct some of the past mistakes and then see proper progress and growth in our country? It's enough with the blame game. Akufo-Addo this, and nobody neither from the NDC or even the Nkrumah is coming up with suggestions or ideas to come up with to tackle the problem. We are all talking
I think it's unfair to say that nobody or people are not coming up with ideas, because some of the ideas are coming from left, right, and center. People are suggesting that the constitution have to be looked at. That's an idea, because there are things that people feel if it's changed.
Right.
You see, for instance, I will think that the oversight on the government institutions, even on the oversight on that is placed on executives by the judicial, the legislature, that is the parliament. They provide oversight on the executive. I think it's not enough. And for instance, we have what do we call it? Finance minister and Bank of Ghana governor. Now there is this argument whether it was unlawful or lawful for him to have either electronically or physically printed so much money and to help the government out, whether it was lawful or not. You see, now certain things have been, certain purchases have been made and the rest of it, and the calculation proves that certain monies have been spent. But I think we have to redraw the constitution in such a way that even the finance minister just doesn't have to present his programs and how he's going to finance in parliament, but the actual calculations, actual itemized bills should be agreed upon before it's executed, because that is my suggestion. But that is, one of the suggestions. And people are not very satisfied with what is going on, and they are not saying that, they are not bringing in suggestions, because the laws are there. The rules of the game, or let's say the rule of law, still exists in Ghana.
Of course.
The rule itself cannot maneuver itself.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
It is the human beings which should make, we should make the rules, the laws work.
Right.
So, for instance, take Cecilia Dapa case, even though it's like the law is taking its course and everything, people see it as though there's some interference coming in, because you know that the the special prosecutor has petitioned, I think, to president that maybe the judge on that case is somehow being biased or something. Yes, actually petitioned. But if that is true, that the petitioner is going, that is an indictment. That is really poor, isn't it?
But it's not yet,
because we should argue about this.
It's not
the prosecutor himself doesn't trust the fairness of a judge. Then we are in trouble.
No, but that is something abysmal. I think that is very disrespectful. I'm a lawyer, and I think when we talk about the judiciary aspect, it becomes another issue.
You see, but sir, my lord, let me tell you this. It's only in Ghana that we feel that the Lord, the judge, and you can't criticize. Look at this country.
We can. But Cecilia, the past case is entirely different.
Sure.
We don't have.
No, we can't go details in it. I totally agree with you.
Just saying.
How to correct our mistakes. Yeah.
Because we, like you say, you can look over the media and everybody is blaming, and I'm sure there is rampant disrespect. Everywhere, and the way we speak, the way the attitude,
all those things have started from somewhere, isn't it? Okay, for instance, look, if we have the quality of the leadership, it transcends, it permeates, it goes through everywhere.
Right. But it started from Muhammad.
Let me tell you something.
It started from Muhammad.
Fair enough. Fair enough that he wasn't good. But I was going to talk about Rawlings.
Country.
You see, when those time when we're with Rawlings in the class and those things, we call you the old man, even though you were relatively young. But Charlie, this one there, if the old man here, you finish all. You see the idea that when he hears, because let me give you an example. Once he spoke about, the negative aspect of smoking. Some of us say we have given up, and then once, we smoked and said, it's shouting and, and someone said, Charlie, you guys, you say you stop now, you see you smoking, it's vexed, something trivial like that. Yeah. But the leadership, that quality, that, that sort of, the attributes about him, that no nonsense, he likes to do things properly, and when you are caught, you won't go scot-free, and that sort of thing. We are missing that. Okay. Look,
that is why I asked you.
Now we say
we should implement a champion's processes a little bit.
What sort of a champion?
The discipline, I mean, I'm sure you can, even with sanitation.
Rawlings brought about discipline, about sanitation, we were cleaning the gutters. Maybe I don't know how old we were, but we did a lot of work. And national service, you go and carry
it's because of the camouflage, it's because of the uniforms.
The same as to a champion. A champion was a soldier.
Exactly. So do you think we should have some sort of, a bit of hardness in our system?
You see, staying disciplined, and working to effective outcome, does not need the gun or camouflage. The rules, the laws as governing the country. For instance, let me give you an example. Recently, we heard that Akosombo Dam, some say it was spillage. I was asking, I was having back and forth chat with Professor Jampo. He said, what I don't understand by spillage. I said, I want to know whether it's spillage or it was purposely opened, because, when the water at the higher level becomes too much, the floodgates have to be open for the water to ease, otherwise it will flow over the dam. It's not good. So either it was done that or spillage. What sort of spillage? If it's spillage, it's an accident. All the same, someone will have to answer for this. What brought me to this is that, look, there's flood, and it has taken people's houses, people's livelihood, everything. And I've been told this is not the first time. So if we have top engineers, top scientists, so, these directors are the VRA.
Why blame?
If they are there.
No, I do understand.
And things like that will happen. And maybe the Volta River Authority, they don't even have insurance to compensate. You see, I'm taking that institution. I'm not even talking about politics.
I understand that.
So this, to do the right thing, doesn't need a gun.
Okay, but this
it doesn't need
I understand that, but don't you think that citizens are a contributory factor to the
problem? Of course we are.
Okay, but we keep blaming the president. Don't you think we should be part of like the Town and Planning Council? Do you think they're of any use?
I'm going to say town and planning, local government. When the president comes to say, I will make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. That was years back. And the city is very dirty now, very awful. I mean, you cannot just say, let me go and blame the principal secretary at local government and ministry for that. No, the head of the whole team, who actually put his credibility online by telling us, and people believed. If the thing is going the other side...
Was Accra any cleaner?
That is why he said he is going to make... No, Accra wasn't cleaner, doing the backing with money. A lot of money have been spent in dollars, in hard currency, and still the place is awful. My first thing is to ask, Mr. President, what do you think of this? The president should show that he really cares that his reputation is at stake here.
So what exactly is he doing wrong?
Well, he doesn't seem to be putting the right foot forward. For the first time in several years, surely somebody in the sanitation alone we are talking about, somebody isn't working properly. He shouldn't be there by now. He should have gone long ago. If and truly the president believes that he has given all the resources that the person needs. But of course, if the president quietly knows that, the resources is not adequate, it's not enough, or maybe the guy is even trying his or their best, then the president should come and answer to us. He actually appointed and told us that with those qualities, no caliber of people. He's going to turn the place nice and clean and beautiful. If it has turned out it is now a wasteland or something, then who should answer? If it was beautiful, if it has turned to the other, positively, everything is nice. The president was going to praise him. The president said he was going to make the place, but then he has made it.
But you see, he's never been praised for anything. That is what I'm saying. I understand. Maybe if you equate the expenses as to the establishment, you might say it's crazy.
When you borrow that much, the borrow, then the money that comes in, the revenue from the internal generated and everything. When you add all together for 7 to 8 years, about $120 billion, it's also affecting. Even with that, we shouldn't be like this. Monies have been wasted. It's a waste. How much, have you read about the Auditor General, the man who does the calculations?
But Mahama left government or power with a huge debt.
Yes, which 120 billion cedis, which roughly, yeah.
Which has been also said.
Cedis, yes.
Yeah. So now, if you look at some of the projects that he's done, do you admit that NATO has done anything?
Well, listen, you are showing me projects here, yeah? I'm coming.
First, do you admit he's done it?
No, before I can admit, first and foremost, it will have to reflect in at least the theoretical books, the books. You're going to talk about no pictures, the books.
And
it should reflect.
Not just books, but you can see.
And it should reflect in the outcomes of government taxes and employment. Because if you have done all this, how is it that unemployment is rather rising?
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, why can't we say, yes, Nanado's government, they've established something, some of these, and contributed to the growth of Ghana at some point. Maybe their expenses are maybe too high as compared to what they've done. But the media, most media teams are not even commenting on that.
Hang on a second. Let me tell you the reason why. It is doubtful to assume that something has been done or not. Let me explain why.
These are pictures.
That's what I'm saying. The pictures can be shown. But how has that, how does it reflect on unemployment? On the economy itself, because if these things were not there, and the government actually spent money to do this, they should actually. This is the outcome should be that. We had let's say 2 million people in direct employment, or let's say 2 million people in gainful employment. Now we have 5 million people. We have 8 million people. Then, due to these things we are talking about, then we can say, but when it's not reflecting, people are rather losing their what do we call it? They are not earning a living. The people are losing their livelihood and everything. The place is dire. Then you say you've done this, you've done that. Look, let me tell you something. What I'm trying to say is that if these things have been done and it is true, it should reflect in Auditor General's yearly accounts that, when in the overall scheme of things, when economy, you can bring economy to, let's say, 15% inflation, and it's brought to nearly 50%. Now it's falling. Now, if you ask me, tell me what Mahama did. The economy, relatively, were better than now. Relatively. Of course, relatively. I was say relatively.
Okay.
Because if you tell me that now people are paying more taxes than before.
Because, do you agree that in Ghana,
yes,
the taxing system only goes to mostly the companies. It probably the individuals with official employment. But other than that, petty traders and most people don't.
Everybody pays tax in Ghana. Everybody.
How do they do that?
I mean, told this your factory produce water.
Yes.
You buy it in Ghana. There's some sort of small tax on it for certain. So they pay.
Yeah, everybody pay a lot of taxes.
Now, I had a friend who is a butcher.
Right.
He supplies meat, the livestock to the butchers.
Right.
And he said previously, it was easy when this electronic payment came, right? So he buys a cow, maybe 10,000 cedis,
Right.
And he just wired the money to the seller.
Right.
Okay. He pays tax because his company is registered.
Right.
And when he brings the bulls or cows to the market too, because of the market local tax system, that is also another tax. Now, it's everywhere.
This is where
you see,
it's working now. This is at this moment is where we are actually having the feel.
So how do we say that not many people are paying tax?
No, I'm just saying that at this point we are having the feel of it.
Exactly.
Okay, before it wasn't that reflective.
Now you know why people get angry, furious, and you see that, okay, you say he has done this and that and that, and people say they don't feel it. You see the transparency. When you tell the truth, when people get to know that really the figures are, not, adding up, and it's not our fault.
Okay.
When you compare that to the living style or standards of officials, the lifestyle of people in charge,
right,
and the lack of transparency in everything. For example, they call something the frontier healthcare something at the airport.
Right.
They were charging money, $100 for visitors and travelers and the rest. Up to date, nobody knows who the owners of that company is. First, we were told that the company made $17 million and they gave Ghana $1 million. Now it has transferred. Just yesterday I was reading, the company made $85 million and they gave Ghana $5 million. I mean, the figures keep changing every time. And we don't know who. Do you really think this country, they made those mistakes of giving monies to companies to buy certain things. Even here, they said they imported some masks and they were not good and those things.
Yes.
But at least the companies are known.
Yes.
And even if it doesn't airport official, they don't know. I mean, do you run a country like that?
But you can also find out, can't you, from companies' house? I mean, the register.
You see, the thing is, that has led to the speculation that, Akufo-Addo himself is involved in that company. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Recently, we've been told that land surrounding the Kotoka International, I don't want to call it Kotoka International, I call it Accra International Airport. That was the cocoa shed type the British left. Nkrumah brought it to that stage in the 70s.
Why don't you call it Ghana International?
Exactly. No, it's in Accra, so at least Accra International Airport will be okay. I don't call it Kotoka. Anyway.
No, Ghana International.
Fair enough. Thank you. I was accept that as well. Oh, Sajifo International. Okay. I was taking that. I didn't take it better. I even be jumping on Sajifo International. Look.
All right.
I've been told, we have just been informed that the land around those areas, apparently estimated by Lands Department, is about roughly, speaking about $139 million odd dollars to get it. So it's been sold to somebody affiliated to a Akufo-Addo family.
Speculated.
You see, they say, you see,
right.
So you see, because of lack of transparency,
right, speculations are on the rise.
Thank you. So what do you expect me to do?
And you do that too?
Well,
are you not supposed to be more?
This, I read it.
Right.
Now, it's for the government. You said the government we have some information and everything.
Right.
So come out and say, no, this is not true. Right. It has been sold or let out or not at this price, but at this price. If you want the receipts or the transaction, this is where to go, this is where to go. You won't hear anything.
Right.
So,
we speculate.
Do you still have to blame Ghanaians for speculating?
No.
Thank you.
This brings me to this point. A lot of red lines have been crossed. If you're looking at the days of those coup d'etats, from Afrifa, the Agyapong, the Liman, the Rawlings, and whatnot. You would say red lines have been crossed almost in every country in Africa. With mismanagement, abuse of power, corruption. I mean, the list goes on and on. Do you think, especially what is happening in the Francophone countries, coup d'etat and those government takeovers are the right processes to follow?
If you ask me this question, let's say 5-10 years ago, I'll say no.
Right.
But the reason why I'm going to say yes is that you've actually elaborated on the causes, the reasons why these things are coming. What I want to say is, in these or those francophone countries in Africa, West Africa, a certain realization, of there was an unfinished business between those countries and France.
Okay.
And that realization is now being reactivated.
Okay.
That knowledge is now being reactivated.
Okay.
That unfinished business. And what are these unfinished business? That they gained independence. As we, Ghana, Nigeria, and others gained independence politically, but maybe not economically. For the French-speaking country, they didn't even get the political. It were just figurehead.
Okay.
They have to work, serve, and send everything to France, the motherland, so-called. Look, let me tell you a story I heard years ago. And I read something which was spoken, written, or, answering to a question. I think either a Zambia or a president, or a Zambia or a Tanzania president, I've forgotten. But he told a story that one evening he was the then chairman of the AU. The AU presidency, it goes round. So that president was the chairman at that time.
Okay.
He said one night he got a telephone call from the president of Benin, from West Africa, that that ECOWAS boss, top man, being the president, either Zambia or Tanzania, should call France and talk to Paris. He said, what? He said, we have to pay our yearly dues, some monies that has to be repatriated. But our economy is so bad that I've just asked the French for just 6 months. They will either pay even in installments or they will pay that money. Not that they've borrowed their money, they are not borrowed anything, just that the dues that have to be sent to France. He said French people sent him a message, and in coded words, if you don't pay it immediately, your time as president will soon be, that sort of thing. So the man was really afraid, and he called this AU boss. And that time he was acting president. Zambia, I've forgotten. It's a long time ago. So this president said, okay, he didn't have that clout, even though he's the AU boss. He called Mandela. At that time, he was explaining how Mandela was powerful and everything. He called Mandela to talk to him, to speak on behalf of the Benin president, what he has said. And he said, Mandela, at that time, the Europeans were falling over themselves to love him, to show them. I brought this story to show you, to illustrate that the French-speaking countries, the unfinished business of having even the self-emancipation, self-governance has not been there. So now it is being reactivated, right? Now, your question that if it is right for these schools to come. There are so many things, so many moving parts in this particular sort of scenario. Look, when you have government, civilian government, which has been voted into power, right? Whether they won by foul means or the legal or illegal, whatever means, they are in power. Now, in 4, 5, maybe some 8 years, whatever, if you look at the lifestyles of the people in charge, how opulent they've become, how they live extravagantly, the money they spend, and you hear minister of so and so go to spend his holiday in France, this and that. Yeah. Now, then you come to link it to the poverty at home.
Right.
It brings the anger. So you multiply that political or social anger by the fact that the French, recently, I don't know if you've seen that they were buying uranium, which is, calculated in kilograms or in tons, whatever. Amount that should be bought on the world market for about 2,000. There should be a certain level of it's not a coup as such, but uprising, popular uprising.
Right.
People will have to revolt.
Right.
And to me, in my book, it is right. Otherwise, the reason why, the second reason is that there are structures to remove a bad government.
Right.
Innit? There are rules, there are regulations.
Okay.
The structures, number one is that election.
Of course.
When you elect somebody after 4, 8, whatever, 10 years, they are not good. You go into election, you show them the red card, innit?
Exactly.
But when the system, people in charge, you see that they are working against the smooth, what do we call it? The regulated system or process for change. You see, the process for change is there. The peaceful one, the civilian one is there. We have governments who are working or have worked against that. And they've made it impossible for us to use the ballot box to change them. So something has to give. So therefore, like it happened in Sri Lanka, it was a mass demo. They just removed the government, even though they've come back. But you see, that is it. So if our governments, if they perform properly, number one, to their satisfaction, even if there's a struggle, people should know transparency. People should know that the government is doing its best. But if the people are seeing that you people are flying up and down in private jets, spending big sums of money, people have put down mansions, $5 million worth, $10 million worth, and then you tell me that we should tighten our belt. It calls for coup d'etat.
We've seen it all over in many countries, and it's just, I think, the beginning. However, my point is the military, they take over and they don't hand over quickly. But they are not equipped either to lead. And they get to face these sanctions.
Let me tell you something.
Right.
You see, this world, Osajivo. Sorry.
Okay.
Osajivo.
Right.
The guy said, let's unite. It's not just by mofmofo. If you are united, very difficult for you to be controlled from outside. Look, your question, let me relate it to what is happening in South America. I hear people talk, they say World Economic Order. The World Economic Order. That started after colonization and the rest, where, they manufacture things and we buy things with their gold, our oil and everything. That order should change. Now, you see the South American countries, for them, they can't win. The reason I'm saying that is that when they practice proper, pure Westminster democracy and capitalism, their monies the monies find their way to Wall Street.
Okay.
When they practice socialism, where the socialists say, we want to maybe share everything to everybody, like Lula of Brazil when he came, or even in Colombia, in Venezuela, building houses, not maybe very top mansions or any, but normal houses for people. People were happy. Do things, to bring the very low level people to a certain standard. When they do that sociality to Americans, who put sanction on them. When they do capitalism, the capitalism works in such a way that your money will end up either Wall Street or British, whatever. You understand? So they can win. Applies to the Southern Africa. The Southern part where we belong, the Africa. You see, everybody is running away because we cannot manage our affairs. We don't manage our affairs well. Our presidents, our heads of state, our leadership. The worst aspect, our curse is that mentality which tells them that they have to have their mansions in America, in Europe, and elsewhere. Except they build all their good things outside, except their country. That mentality, until it ceases, we are doomed. My brother, until we get leaders who will be selfless, that I've got a mansion is here. Until we get Africans, even if there's money, they steal it. The money is in Africa. Right. They are saving in Africa Development Bank or something. In Africa. Right. But until we stop shipping all the monies here to the north, saving it in the banks of European banks for them to use the interest to build their countries. Until we stop that, Huh? And this one is not criticism for only one person.
You see the military, when they take over too, they tend to be they tend to change and come back into power.
Then later,
stay over.
It is the mentality I'm talking about.
Museveni was the same. You have even Rwanda, though he's doing very well, he's doing the same.
Museveni have almost 30-something years, but one allegation you don't hear, even though he's been there and maybe people are fed up, they want him out. One allegation you don't hear about him, the same about Mugabe, the same about Gaddafi, the same about Rawlings. The Westerners, if they had money, they would have used it to destroy him. If they had his money in their banks. You understand?
Right.
That Ghanaians are complaining that their lands are being sold to foreign, even as we speak. You understand? The fact is, we have so much going for us. So if you say, you go to Ghana, you go to Ivory Coast, they've got lithium or uranium, whatever you go, and he said, no, the price you go buying from Ghana, the same price. They will buy it good price for you. So when we are undercutting each other, we are just, because of poverty, they make you the minister for lands and mineral resources. Somebody promised you $10 million. You will sign the paper now. Not forgetting that paper you signed for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years, they are going to make billions for their countries. And we are going to make babies from small millions. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
The mentality, we got to be strong enough for our own selves.
Would you therefore agree with Kennedy Agyapong?
For Kennedy Agyapong?
Well, he's talking about that mentality.
Listen. How do I even say it without being disrespectful? Look, let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Are you saying
for someone who doesn't respect nothing of the law, can say anything, can insult, destroy people's reputation, and later come back and say, "Oh, I was joking. Oh, Tresbuashi was just a joke." Then he said, "Now you want to be president. You want me to trust him." Has he respected the law enough? Has he? No. He sought judges. I will show this man. I will do this. Jesus Christ. Rawlings was action man, but he did respect. Look, the first time we traveled to Kumasi to see the other Asante Hene, is it Owari? Forgot before this one came.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, the first time Rawlings, we had the young man waiting. Before he went to remove the shoes. We, the bodyguards who were, giving permission, we were there all over, but he removed his shoes. That you see, respected tradition, respected the paramountcy of the king or the chief or something. The guy was actually talking, but he respected. He didn't just go and say. Did you ever see Rawlings insulting a lawyer, a judge? Talking about, somebody.
But he just disappeared under his regime.
Well, it doesn't mean, tell me, look, the frailties or the excesses of, let's say, the revolution. Certain things happen. I started by saying, we tried to create a society fit to live in, but we didn't get everything right. Certain things maybe you got it wrong. But that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that he has anything to do with it.
Right. But would you think Kennedy could change his narrative in terms of?
Listen, I keep saying that we've got to be serious. Why do you want to make me? Why do you bring laughter into this? We are serious.
You think he's not serious? And you think he's not serious?
Kennedy Agyapong as president. Jesus Christ.
Why not?
Are you really, Andy? Look, you're a tough guy. Stop behaving, misbehaving.
Mansa Musa,
yes.
It's been amazing speaking with you today. I'd like to say a big thank you.
Thank you too.
In a short notice that was given to you,
thank you.
You attended. Well, folks, this is where time will bring us. I would like to say a big thank you for your time. But we can never go without thanking our proud sponsors. I'd like to thank Andy's Natural Mineral Water right in Ghana. It's produced at Atterbury. The factory is located at Atterbury. It's purified. It's one of the best you can have in Ghana. If you're in Ghana and you want to have water that is good for you, your children, your family, funerals, weddings, then consult Andy's Natural Mineral Water on andyswaters.com. That is the website, and you can visit and contact them and place your order. It is soon going to be available also in the UK and in Europe. So watch out for that. We'd like to also thank Ahima Collections for the beautiful jewelry that she produces. And you can actually serve Ahima Collections on the internet or Etsy, and you will have her good collections also there. And the Legal Associates is a wonderful law firm that helps you with all your legal issues here in Europe, especially in the UK. And we have a fantastic branch in Ghana at Oponglo Junction in East Legon. You can also contact them by serving on the internet and going to andidlegal.co.uk, andidlegal.co.uk. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that took the time to watch us today. Thank you, have a good day, and goodbye.